Hello everyone. I'm a former banking professional. And for the last 9 years, I've been running a successful short-term rental business. I have also spent the last 20 years traveling the world as an avid Airbnb guest, exploring different cultures and hospitality models. When starting a short-term rental business, many investors make a choice based entirely on emotion and nostalgia. They search for character apartments, spaces with history, high ceilings, and vintage soul. And on paper, it makes perfect financial sense. According to Airbnb market data, listings with authentic historical character command a 15% to 25% premium on nightly rates, compared to standard, modern apartments. Guests are more than willing to pay extra for romance. But today, let's look at this decision through a completely different lens. The lens of self-improvement and the evolution of your quality of life. I want to analyze the cold, hard numbers behind both options and prove to you why chasing vintage aesthetics on Airbnb might be secretly draining your wealth and your mental energy, and why choosing a pragmatic modern condo is actually a strategic decision to protect your most valuable asset, your peace of mind. Let's dive into the actual statistics of property operations. While a character apartment earns more gross revenue per night, its operating expenses tell a drastically different story. According to real estate benchmarks, the annual cost of operating and maintaining a property built before the 1960s averages 5% to 6% of the home's total value. For modern buildings constructed after 2010, that number drops to just 3%. Why is there such a massive gap? It's the hidden structural friction. Older buildings are inherently energy inefficient. Data shows that utility bills and heating or cooling expenses in vintage properties are up to 50% higher than in modern, energy-certified developments. When you run a short-term rental business, you aren't just paying for extra electricity. You are constantly managing unpredictability, an ancient plumbing issue, an electrical surge in old wiring, or a sudden leak. Doesn't just cost you a repair bill. It results in cancelled reservations, property downtime, and the ultimate nightmare of a short-term host: a devastating 1-star review that drops your listing's visibility in the Airbnb algorithm. This is where the concept of self-improvement truly connects with your business strategy. True personal growth after 45 or 50 is about eliminating unnecessary friction from your life. It's about choosing systems that respect your time and your nervous system. When you invest in a character apartment, you are subconsciously signing up for a second full-time job. As an emergency crisis manager, you are constantly anxious, wondering if everything is okay with the property. A modern condo, on the other hand, represents a different state of mind. Predictability and safety. Yes, you pay high HOA fees, homeowners association fees, for the concierge, 24/7 security, and brand new infrastructure. But as a former banking professional, I see these fees as an insurance policy. They ensure your costs are completely fixed and predictable. If a minor issue arises, the on-site building management handles it instantly, without you ever needing to pick up the phone. By choosing a modern condo, you are essentially saving the high maintenance costs of a vintage property and adding them directly to your life's margin. You trade romantic chaos for automated stability. But let's be entirely fair and look at the second revenue stream of any real estate investment: capital appreciation. If you analyze long-term data from global real estate indexes, like Knight Frank or Savills, you will find an undeniable truth. Historic buildings in prime metropolitan centers experience higher and more stable capital growth over a 15 to 20-year period compared to new builds. It is the law of scarcity. Developers can always build another modern high-rise, but the housing stock in old, historic districts is strictly limited. They simply cannot build more of it. However, this capital growth comes with a severe financial penalty that directly hits your net operating income, NOI. When you buy a character property, you aren't just paying for plumbing repairs. You are legally hit with municipal heritage levies and special assessment taxes for the preservation of historic districts. In many global cities, these municipal preservation fees are classified as mandatory operating expenses, according to global property data. While an average modern condo requires only about 3% of its total value annually for operating and upkeep costs, an older property requires 5% to 6%. This compounding gap is driven not only by the heavy energy deficits we discussed in Chapter 2, but also by mandatory history taxes and specialized labor. In many historical districts, municipal heritage levies are structured as compulsory operating expenses that directly slash your NOI. Furthermore, when an unexpected structural issue or an exterior restoration mandate arises in a 100-year-old heritage building, you cannot just hire a standard contractor. You need certified, high-priced historical specialists. A single specialized repair can instantly swallow up to 35% of your annual net operating income. You are growing rich on paper through property appreciation, but you are actively losing liquid cash on a daily basis. Ultimately, the choice comes down to your personal philosophy and where you are in your journey of self-improvement. It's about choosing your game. If you are playing the long, generational wealth game, and you have the mental bandwidth to handle unpredictable operating friction, municipal levies, and constant emergency management, then investing in a historic character property will reward you with massive equity down the road. You build an empire, but you become its full-time manager. But true personal growth after 45 or 50 is often about protecting your focus and choosing immediate quality of life. A modern condo is a choice for lifestyle automation. It offers slightly more conservative long-term growth, but it gives you a clean, predictable, hands-off net profit of 25% to 35% globally right here, right now, with zero personal friction. The decision is entirely yours. Do you want to maximize your brick and mortar equity for the future? Or Do you want to maximize your personal freedom and mental clarity today? I chose a business that serves my life, not a life that serves my business. In our next video, we will open up the financial spreadsheets to look at the exact step-by-step math of automating a hands-off short-term rental. Let me know in the comments below. Are you playing the long equity game with vintage charm? Or are you choosing automated comfort with a modern condo? Subscribe to Smart Capital 45 Plus. Hit the like button. And I will see you in the next episode.